Hey, good afternoon. Welcome to the Odd Shop. Open up the doors, step inside, take a seat. Let's shop some odds. Oh man, I'd kill infomercials, dude. I would just crush it.
Yeah, you and
Dave
Aton.
Loughran at Lofty_D on the Twitter, joined by Ben Rasa. Of course, today's show is sponsored by Chalkboard in the sense that get your asses over there. We're almost at 1,000 members. We just started this 2 weeks ago. We're almost at 1,000 members. And is it any surprise? It's completely free. All the picks are free. Been crushing it, having a great time. Shopping odds where we post a bet and then 5 minutes later, it's moving significantly. That isn't to say that we're moving the lines. It's to say that we're getting in before the books realize that they got the wrong stuff. And that's what we intend on doing here today, every day on the Odd Shop. That's what we do in Chalkboard. The app is free. The picks are free. They'll always be free. Links in the description. You better join. But let me just say hi to Ben Rasa at JazzRaz DFS, the man, the sorcerer when it comes to all things betting. Oh, wow. Yeah, I just thought of that right now. What's going on,
sorcerer.
Brother? It's kind of cool. That's a kind of cool name, though, like the sorcerer.
What is that exactly?
You know, some sorcery.
No, I know, but like you've got wizard, sorcerer. I feel like sorcerer has an evil connotation. Fair or foul?
Like a used for bad?
Yeah, like if you said something like, wow, you're a wizard, that seems pretty good. Like it's a positive. If you said, wow, you're a sorcerer, it seems like you're doing something a little shady.
I think they're synonymous, though. But like sorcerer.
I don't think so.
No. All right, hold on.
Maybe I'm wrong. I will say, I am feeling great. The Braves just pushed a couple across. Really, really thought they were going to get to Corbin, and not that he was responsible for these runs, but they just hung a couple more. That makes me feel good. I am now more energized for this show than I was just a couple minutes ago. So things are turning.
You know what? You know it shouldn't feel good?
What?
Patrick Corbin being the opening day pitcher for any team.
So that's just sad. I just like the Nats are going to lose 100+ games, but really? That's your ace?
That's your guy. Not a big ERA guy, but like 6+ ERA last season. Dig into any of his metrics are terrible. And yes, a sorcerer, a person who claims or is believed to have magic powers, semicolon, a wizard.
Okay. I feel like you never hear the word evil or the sentence or whatever you want to call it, evil wizard. You say evil sorcerer.
Yeah, that's fair. You want me to call you the wizard?
No, I prefer sorcerer.
Okay. Yeah, I thought it was more fitting, to be completely honest.
Wizards, no. I don't. I'm not a big Harry Potter guy. I don't have time for wizards.
Happy to have you guys. I see a lot of our Chalkboard people already in chat. That makes me happy. Happy to have you guys here, though. As always, it's a Thursday night. Weird basketball slate. Only 2 games. 3 of the 4 teams playing are on either the front or the back end of a back-to-back, first or second leg. So that's going to make things interesting. Like Jokic is questionable. You assume that Giannis and Holiday play today, just given the fact that, you know, they're 3 games up on Boston, but they're playing Boston today. I don't know. Boston on the front end of a back-to-back. We'll see what happens there. We're here to break it all down, though. We got all the bets lined up on OddsShopper right now. We got some fun baseball stuff. And I am going to immediately have to ask Ben a question here to see if he is consistent in his logic, to see if he is consistent in his theory, or if he's full of shit. I'll ask that in a second. But first, let me ask you guys, can you hit that thumbs up? Much appreciated. Goes a long way around here. Subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. What are we? How many? We got almost 67,000 subs on this channel now.
Yeah, we are building quickly because of you guys, of course. We got some exciting things coming as well. So if you're not part of the team, you want to be part of the community, it's one way to do it. Just press subscribe.
Took the DFS channel like 4 years to get to 60.
We're getting to 6 figures soon. Like we've been
pumping out content actively for what, like a year and a half now? Like that's it. Yeah. Appreciate you guys. Hit the thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. All that good stuff. Appreciate you. Tell your friends. You know how it goes. You ready to win some money tonight?
Oh, we need it. We need it. It's opening day. Everybody wins on opening day. And I need it after yesterday. Lofty, I do want to give you a moment. I don't know why I'm doing this. You weren't on the show yesterday. So
what?
I said, you weren't on the show yesterday.
No, it must have sucked. Keep going.
It was not great. I got walloped, but 2 days ago we hit the parlay, and yesterday we did not. But I assume you're not going to be a team player and take the L with us, with me and Aton.
Why would I do that?
Because again, you missed the words when I said team player.
No, hold on a second though. This is a two-way street. If you and Aton hit that parlay yesterday, I wouldn't have tried to take any credit for it. So
no, you would have.
So why should I?
You would hit us with the we.
Why should I bear any responsibility if it loses? I'll say this much: as a team player, you nailed your pick on Tuesday night, and so did I, and so did the community.
All right, you weren't honest. So this is a repeat. The North Texas basketball game on Tuesday night, because they play tonight in the NIT finals. Never in my life have I seen something like that. Truly, they played Wisconsin. Just listen to this. They played Wisconsin. Wisconsin had 54 points with 9 minutes to go in the game, and they lost 56-54.
So they went 9 minutes without scoring a single point.
And a game went under because of that. Think about how disturbing that is.
It's crazy. It's also crazy that I'm pretty sure the implied totals on both teams was like 57, 56 or something.
Oh, they nailed it. It fell right there. But
and you'd think they were going to come nowhere close when a team has 54 with 9 minutes to go.
70 points at halftime. And they scored 40 points in the second half.
Over the total.
Cruising.
The first half total in that game was probably what? Like 59?
Yeah.
50, yeah. I ridiculous. But yeah, we crushed the parlay. Jalen Williams under 5.5 assists. And you know what? I didn't really even have to sweat that. Anyone who didn't use OddsShopper and got it at 4.5 on their respective books was sweating that because he sat at 4 for a while. But if 5.5, then I just needed him to not get 2 in the final few minutes of that game and not go to overtime. Bang, bang. We nailed it.
No, that was good.
Shout out to the community too, though. Cleveland plus 2.5.
The community's been doing good work. Credit to them, because yesterday, all sorts of stuff. Giannis, that wasn't even a sweat. Not in the good way. I looked and he had 30 PRA in the first quarter. And it was like, well, I'm going to continue living my life. I was on the golf show.
Triple doubled in the first half. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a problem.
But sometimes it goes the other way. Like I threw the cat prop in chalkboard at like 7 in the morning, sitting there. My daughter's eating breakfast before I sent her to daycare. And I'm like, let me pull up OddsShopper. Sometimes in the morning, you just find really good stuff, right? Like really good stuff. And I'm like, shit, Cat 28.5 PRA, played 32 minutes last time he was out there. Going to play more than that today. He hit 29 in the first half, Ben. 29 in the first half.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah, and also that line moved. And I can't stress it enough. People are going to get sick of me saying this, but like and sorry, this is not an educational thing to those of you that are sick and tired of that. Sign up on a lot of books and small books, please. They're leaving games up there for 10 minutes that other books are pulling. Sign up on. I really can't stress it enough, Ben. That's all I'll say. No more of that stuff. Sign up for smaller books. You're going to absolutely crush closing line value and get in there before it's pulled. And long term, just absolutely crush it. Just please get on as many of those smaller books as you can.
The only thing I'm going to add to it real quick is if you are doing tracking stuff, if you track your bets, track it by book as well as just plus minus, because you will see that sometimes, like certain books, you're going to have trouble beating, and other books you're going to consistently beat, and then shift that action. I know for me, that's something I really take seriously. It's not just like, am I winning or losing in a sport, but on each book, am I winning and losing in that sport?
Yeah, man. FanDuel beat me up the past couple of days, but thankfully I had Bet Rivers on my side.
Well, there's some books we'll be talking about. I want to ask you, because we've got 2 games there. We're going to talk baseball. I'll probably sneak in a little hockey. There's no soccer, so I can't talk to you about Togo. Just gut feel. Do you think that Jokic is now back in front in this close MVP race?
Yes. I don't think it's over, but I think he is. And the odds would say that he is as well. I looked yesterday, and remember at one point Embiid was favored against the field. Yesterday I looked, Nikola Jokic was plus 105, and Embiid was plus 20, I think it was. So yeah, gut feel is yes. Now they're both plus 115, but Adam made a great point. He's like, it shouldn't matter that Embiid sat that game out in Denver, but MVP voters are objectively stupid, right? Like Kendrick Perkins has an MVP vote.
I mean, the biggest factors are like the most ridiculous narratives. One of them, and this is a real thing, Jokic has voter fatigue. That's clear. Like that's not supposed to be a thing, but it is. And like you mentioned, Embiid not playing in the rematch between those two also it's such a stupid thing. But I wanted to get your take as a son of Philly here.
Yeah, I don't care about the MVP, but I think it's very close. I still think if Embiid plays every game to close out the season and they keep winning, I think he edges Jokic out because of the voter fatigue. But
yeah.
All right. Ready to talk a little let's get into basketball first. Only 2 games today. Then we can shop some MLB stuff. Greg's been throwing stuff in chalkboard all day with MLB. But with NBA today, I think you got to be cautious. I think you got to be careful on stuff like this, especially given that like the one thing that's really standing out to me is with Jokic questionable dealing with that sore calf against the Pelicans today, 6-point spread in that game. He's actually on the injury report. It's the first half of a back-to-back. Could they hold him out in a game like this? So looking at all of these props, it's like I'm scared a little bit to take unders on some of these Denver players. I've actually leaned in a little bit to maybe looking for some good overs that are very much palatable if Jokic plays, but if he's out, are true smash spots. You know what I mean?
Oh, I know. I definitely know what you mean. And it's always tough to decipher, are the books hedging at all?
I think they are a little bit, to be honest.
It seems like they are a bit because, what happens now, that's where you can get in right off the bat. And we're not going to get too insane too early. But like my first thought is maybe you go ladders with some of these guys and say, I'm going to bet that he sits. And if he sits, why not try to maximize it with Aaron Gordon? Why not try to maximize it with Murray, somebody, and do that? But you also have to be cognizant the books might have some of this budgeted in. I in fact think that they do. And that's why some of the unders are coming up.
I absolutely think they do. And another reason for that is that there are no Nikola Jokic lines out there.
Yeah, he's off the board, but the domino effect is interesting.
Right. But what I'm saying is the fact that they're not posting anything on Jokic, but they have the rest of the team posted, leads me to believe that there's a little bit baked in here, for sure. But at the same time, you got a Jamal Murray prop. Again, I don't think this is going to grade out all that well on OddsShopper, but 33.5 PRA. He's hit that in 11 of his last 20 games, and Jokic has played them. He's gone over it in 4 of his last 6. With Jokic out this season in 4 games, he has 41, 40, 36, and 36 PRA. So I do think there are spots to attack, but I think you have to tread real. I think you have to be careful in spots like this, but we do have Aaron Gordon over points right now on Caesar specifically. 14.5 minus 118 is one of those spots that still, even with everything presumably baked in, looks like a decent spot.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm certainly more comfortable leaning to the overs
Me too.
than trying to short some of these guys, and I'm fine with that. And I always start with the actual line. Like the Nuggets are still a 5.5 point favorite at home here, so it's not like they're in a disaster mode regardless. 227 total. This has moved to, what is this? Yeah, this has moved to 15.5 at other books, so I get it. After that, though, there's not a ton. I mean, we only have 4 teams, and for me, the Nuggets might be the team I like least currently besides Aaron Gordon's over on points.
Yeah, it's just then you start getting into Giannis props. Earlier in the day, the Giannis points, rebounds, and assists under was actually popping up as a good bet, right? And that was because it was under 50.5. A lot of other shops had it at like 48.5. So, clearly that was looking like a positive XROI bet. Now, let me be clear. There's nothing scarier than betting Giannis under PRAs.
I learned that yesterday from experience.
Yeah. It's not, dude, it's not fun at all, because he could still not even get his full allotment of minutes like yesterday. I mean, they won by 30 points. He played 32 minutes. Holiday had 51 points, and Giannis still crushed that number. But we have over 49.5 on Giannis as a decent bet here. Nothing crazy. OS bet percentage is 2.71%. On some of our top bets, you're going to see very high OS bet percentage, like way higher than this. So it's just kind of it's just kind of representative of what we're dealing with here. And I also am curious, like, are books baking in some, like, these back-to-back spots on more than just the Nuggets today?
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine so. And there's a lot of consistency when you look at not just the props, but the sides and the totals. This is 2.5 basically everywhere. We just had a question from Chad about the total. It's at 237 everywhere. So there's really no edge in the market. If I had to take a side there, I would lean under. Just personally, I think this, you have two top end teams clashing. I think there'll be a little more defense than, I mean, last night was ridiculous. How many points did the Bucks score last night?
140 something, I thought.
Yeah,
130,
like,
140.
What are we doing? The Pacers are down there with the real dysfunctional teams right now, but I expect this game to be a little more methodical.
149, and I was wrong. They didn't win by 30. 149 to 136. That game had 285 total points.
Yeah, I mean, what are we doing?
Yeah, it was crazy. But I just look at this, and I am drawn a little bit towards the Giannis prop here, because there were parts of me that go, okay, Middleton sat the first leg of a back-to-back. So, we've seen that before, where Middleton plays and then Holiday and Giannis sit on the other end of the back-to-back. But they're ahead 3 games in the East, but they play Boston today as well. So I don't know. You might just want to find other spots to give these guys a break. Giannis hasn't been playing a ton of minutes lately. I'll tell you, if it's the over or the under, it makes me happy to see that OddsShopper right now is showing the over as a positive XROI bet on DraftKings instead of the under, because you just don't feel comfortable with that.
No, and again, I mean, Giannis in a competitive game is still going to push, not major minutes, but he's going to play a healthy amount of minutes, and he's shown he doesn't need that many minutes to get there. So I'm fine with that. It's not a bet that jumped off the page by any stretch. And honestly, right now, we got to take it at face value. The market is pretty efficient overall. Sometimes we're on the show and we got, there's a couple at 10%, 8%, 9%. Right now, we see a couple at 4%. And again, there's only a couple games in the NBA, so that's to be expected. But there's not a ton of NBA right now without the Jokic news that it appeals to me.
There was one too that earlier in the day looked good. The line has moved on this, but man, Jonas Valanciunas, his rebound prop is at 10.5 today. And
here we go.
Here's the problem though. It's like, that seems such an obvious bet. I mentioned this on a video. It seems so obvious, but I'm not sure it is, because it's like, on one hand, all of the books are pretty much in alignment here on Joe Val 10.5. He's gone 12 plus in like 7 of his last 8. And the only reason he didn't last game is because Golden State is not a team that you want someone like Valanciunas on the floor against for a lot of minutes. So he saw his minutes curtailed. But it's weird because against Denver this year, he hasn't played more than 19 minutes in any of those 3 matchups. 2 were foul trouble. One of them, Larry Nance, just went nuclear. But it's like, if Jokic plays, does that actually benefit someone like Joe Val? If he doesn't, what if they start Jeff Green at the 5 or something, and then they want Larry Nance out there? It's tough. And Denver allows the fewest rebounds to opponents on the season. So this is one I look at and I'm like, man, on the surface, 10.5 boards look so good on Joe Val. But then I look on OddsShopper, and I don't think it's any coincidence that, like, it's a -5% XROI bet, and every single book is essentially in line on this one.
Yeah, this is one I actually wanted to ask you, because again, you're much more tuned into the actual rotations and personnel. Like, okay, if Jokic is out there, the negatives for Joe Val, obviously he's going with a very, very good big. You mentioned Denver's rebounding abilities, all that, but I would think that would help him minutes wise. If Jokic sits, what are the chances they use Gordon or someone at the 5 and they go small and they just play him off the court? Because to me, the Pelicans would seem more than content going small as well and matching them. And that is a big problem for Joe Val.
Exactly. They did that against, a Golden State team that attempts more threes than any team in the league. Denver's not, a prolific 3-point shooting team, but at the same time, it's like, who knows? Maybe they start Bryant at the 5. Maybe they start Jeff Green. Maybe it's Zeke Naji, who's been the backup behind Jokic. I don't know. Maybe DeAndre Jordan, if he's still on the team, is exhumed from the grave and they throw him out there. It's hard to say. But if it's some of those like immobile bigs and guys that aren't jacking up a lot of threes, this could end up being a game where Joe Val plays a ton of minutes.
This is why he's the best. He is perpetually a ladder candidate.
He is.
Because if you're going to do it, you might as well say he gets the right formula and
Yeah.
I want to maximize. What good is it if he plays 9 minutes, 12 minutes, whether you laddered or not, you're probably in pretty big trouble.
I was going to say, yeah, it basically, if he doesn't get there, you don't even really have to sweat it. You can go to bed early, like you'll know if Joe Val comes out 3 minutes into the second quarter and he comes onto the bench, he's probably not closing the game and he's probably not playing 20 minutes. But if you get like those big first half minutes from Joe Val in this matchup, you could be in business. His double-double is -120 today. -120. So you'd be shaving a rebound off of that rebound prop with the 10.5, right? You'd only need 10, but you'd need 10 points as well. Maybe you're right. I'd almost feel better just laddering something on Joe Val and hoping the minutes are there, because if they are there, like from a rebound perspective, if they are there, he's getting there.
Yes, I agree with that. But again, I think why not try to maximize? You just mentioned you're talking -120, which is fine, but there are ways to get serious plus money. And I'm not sure how much more we sacrifice there.
I'm agreeing with you, though. I'm saying, like, if the minutes are there, I don't think you want the double-double. You just go for big plus money play.
Now I'm getting just automatically, this is some sorcery right here. Over 3.5 rebounds for Joe Val in the first quarter. +130.
I actually like that.
That's not that bad.
Because his rotations in the games where he doesn't play a lot of minutes is he still has played a good amount of minutes in the first quarter.
That there are scenarios where he gets played off the floor late in the game and that prop would be unaffected. I think his first quarter rotation is pretty solid regardless.
I agree. But let's not ignore the fact that they're massively front loading this prop to the first quarter.
Yeah, but let's also not remember, you're not getting -120 here. You're getting +130. So you're paying in a good way for the front load. Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, 4 of those, if you're going quarter by quarter, you're talking 16. Even at plus money, you're working that out to what, like 14.5 or something for the game. But I bet if you looked at if they had a second quarter rebound prop for Joe Val, it's probably at like, I don't even know how you would do it, because 2.5 seems like you can't do 1.5. 2.5 might be too much. You might just have 2.5 at like big plus money or something.
Yeah, again, those are just the options. One of the things that I really like to do is you get a player and then it's almost like shopping within just the player's props. Like I kind of think we both are saying the same thing. We want exposure to Joe Val potentially tonight, but what's the best way to do it? Because you can't bet all his props, nor would you want to. I'm kind of looking for the plus money Joe Val props.
I like it. And you know what it's kind of it's kind of similar. It's like DFS adjacent in the sense that for a guy like Joe Val, a lot of times you'd say, oh, for those of you that don't play a lot of daily fantasy sports, ownership is everything, getting leverage over the field and being different on like high upside players that may do nothing or may be great. It is DFS adjacent, right? In the sense of going, I'm not going to lay -120 on a Joe Val prop today. I would rather take the tournament type approach and go, hey, if he does get the minutes, I want to reap all of the rewards for getting those minutes instead of, oh man, he played a ton of minutes and I bet him at even money to get 10.5 rebounds.
Yeah, that's fair. I have no problem with that. And again, we have limited options right now. I'm looking, the only other Pelican, Brandon Ingram's assists under 6.5 at -130 on points bet has stood out a little bit. That's a book that I do like to attack.
Lately.
Yeah, it's a little scary, but I'm fine with that. That's up to -140 elsewhere. But again, there's just not a ton in the NBA tonight. I have a feeling when we build parlays, we're going to be having kind of mixed parlays with a ton of different sports in there.
Yeah, I'd say we talk a little bit of baseball here. And if you guys have plays you're looking at, you guys have questions, let's talk about it.
Plus 140. Sorry, Laffy, but plus 140 from chat over 3.5 boards for Joe Val on Bet365. Extra 5 cents. Nice.
You'll take that. Plus 140 over 3.5 boards really is not bad at all. At all. Like that. And if you're in New Jersey, Colorado, Ohio, or Virginia, use the link in the description and in chat. If you're in one of those 4 states, because you bet $1, you're getting $200 in bonus bets. You heard that right. You bet $1. You don't need to win your bet. You get $200 in bonus bets. And what I found the other day, Ben, is there's only a one-time playthrough before you can withdraw, which is insane.
That's as someone who has spent many a nights doing like 100x rollover, playing slots and just hating my existence, that is a really important factor.
Yeah, Colorado, Virginia, Ohio, and New Jersey, you deposit 10, it takes a minute to sign up. You bet $1 of those 10 and you get 200 in bonus bets. Even if you lose it all, you're down $1 at the end of the day. Or you have a 4-figure bankroll and you say, thank you, Bet365. Much appreciated. I got my 200, I built it up, and now I've got a massive roll throughout baseball and heading into the football season. So takes a minute to sign up. Think of it like you're getting $200 in a minute, best ROI you're going to find. Links down there in the description and in chat. You want to talk some baseball here?
Maybe. It is opening day. I'll make an exception for you. Sure. Let's talk a little baseball.
All right. Well, fortunately, even if you don't want to, you got the OddsShopper tool.
Well, that's why I'm agreeing to this.
First week of OddsShopper's free. 50% off the first month as well. That promo is active right now. Link down below. We got so much going for you guys. Just pop in here to make money every day without even winning bets. So remember I said I didn't forget about this. I teased it earlier. Remember I said I forgot. I had a question for you, right? And the question, hold on a second. And the question was like, hey, do you stay true to your logic on you hate betting, under a half a 3, you hate betting those things where in one shot it could be over. How do you feel about betting total bases when it's like Mike Trout, all these guys, 1.5 total bases under 137, when all it takes is one swing of the bat for Mike Trout to erase that entirely?
Yeah, that's totally different. Obviously.
Why?
What do you mean? Because it's not like, all right, sweet. Like Trout, he's batting third. The 7th guy's up and Trout doubles. That can't happen. Like with basketball, it can happen at any moment. You can take a breather. If your guy's standing in left field, you don't have to worry about it. You have to hold your breath for.
What if he's on the bench?
What? Well, yeah, you can. But some of these guys play like 37 minutes a night. Like you only have to hold your breath a couple times with baseball when you're shorting something. And given your breathing methods, you should have no problem doing that 3 times in a game.
But that's a heavy holding your breath when they come up to bat. I mean,
oh yeah,
it's rough, dude. The over isn't as bad because if they strike out on their first plate appearance, you're like, all right, I probably got 3 more. But you don't ever feel that way with unders. You know what I mean? It's just like a massive sigh of relief every single time. It's tough, dude. But I'm done betting under 3-pointers for at least the time being. Like DeJounte Murray, we talked about the other day, 10 straight games, under 2 threes. He goes out and hits 4 that day. We talked about it. I'm done.
Yeah, done and dusted. But
done.
Obviously, baseball, you bring in a whole different set of things, strikeout props, home run props, total bases, Stolen bases are going to be a hot topic. But I mean, looking at the board, how do you want to start this? Do you want to dive into, Xander and Mookie Betts and these guys? Or do you have philosophical things you want to get into?
We got a few quality XROI bets right now. But again, you're talking like, okay, Mookie Betts, under 1.5 total bases today. Oh, yeah, Mookie, that's fun, right? But Caesars has this minus 192. DraftKings minus 175. This is where I think baseball gets really interesting because you don't often see lines this far separated in basketball. In baseball, sometimes you're looking at it because, it's all 1.5, right? Here across the board, 1.5 total bases. 192 to 139 is huge. You're essentially betting 200 to win 100 on Caesars, where you're betting around 140 to win 100 on BetRivers today.
Yeah, one of the things that's going to be really fascinating is how the books judge opening day. Like this is game one. There's going to be some we're seeing it. These lines will tighten up, I believe, as they get more data. But right now, there's some serious discrepancies in the market. And it's not just with Mookie Betts. Obviously, that's a perfect example. But there's a lot of them out there with some strikeout props and some of the big names, total bases that are books have wild discrepancies, which is creating possible really good bets here.
Mookie being one of them. Like I said, BetRivers, man, just get a BetRivers account.
Byron Buxton.
Yeah, Xander Bogaerts, Buxton, Herman Marquez, strikeouts over 4.5 at plus money today against the Padres. Interesting. Now, number one, this game is not taking place at Colorado, so that's important, right? You don't want to be taking over 4.5 Ks at Coors Field in Colorado with Herman Marquez against this Padres team. I do like this at plus money though. Now, only a 51% X win percentage. I understand that, but 5% XROI here, plus 108 on FanDuel. A lot of other places have this minus 110 on DraftKings. Caesars minus 118. They're just off of a lot of stuff today. The only question for you is if you want to go like high level here, if you're seeing something like this on OddsShopper, how likely are you to pounce on a bet when you see a BetRivers or a Caesars or like in my case Sugar House, or some of these smaller books, than you are to go to see a FanDuel being the best bet and being like, man, what if FanDuel's right? Like, what if all the other books are wrong?
So I do think some of it is art and some of it is science. Easiest answer is if you have data, then you don't need to worry about it because you just look and say like, okay, when I pounce on these on FanDuel, what happens? But I think a general rule of thumb, obviously, is the books that just simply don't have as much at stake and the resources are the ones to likely screw up more. So the reality is if you are able to get on some of these, I'm not going to call them fringe books. These are big time businesses and big time books, but not the ones that have the biggest market share. If they're on an island, I think it's pretty damn clear what's happening. Where it's tougher, in all honesty, is when someone like FanDuel is on the island. Because
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and that is tricky. Now, in this situation, though, I'm looking at not only books, but also, the pick'em places also have this with the over-under at 4.5, PrizePicks and NHA. And so when you're getting plus money on one of the sides like that, I tend to say that's worth the dice roll. And of all the baseball that I've bet today, I already bet this. I bet this a little while ago.
You did?
This exact prop. And I think part of it is just, I like to attack stuff like this because, and I'm one of them, I think the Padres are going to be great this year. I think a lot of people want to bet the Padres today. Kind of going counterintuitive to that, it seems like there could be a lot of people shorting this K prop in the public sphere, and I like the plus money on it.
Okay. Yeah, I have no issues with that at all. Another thing to consider too is actually, hold on, I want to pull something up real quick. I'll get to that in a second. But, when you're looking at these K props and stuff like that, it is interesting to see 4.5 on underdog and all those spots, and no house advantage, because they could just put it at 4 if they wanted to.
That's my exact point. They could put it at 4 and they would be protecting themselves. The fact that they have it at 4.5 as well makes me say, okay, the plus money potential there, that is appealing.
Yeah. Yeah, they can throw it at 4 and then it pushes whatever. No big deal for that. But you see that often where there's something like if there's heavy juice on one side, they won't post that line. They'll just remove the hook or add an extra half, you know? So, okay. I like it. Dude, the where you really get into some stuff here is when you're looking at these over 1.5 total bases, right? Because the unders generally are going to be juiced on most. Like if Mike Trout, if your Mike Trout under is juiced to -137, what do you expect to see for a lot of these other guys, right? Mookie's juiced to the under. For those of you guys that are newer to baseball betting, Josh Naylor plus 170 on Bet Rivers is wild. Caesars plus 127. And if you guys want to follow along, like I said, your first week of OddsShopper is free. Or if you wanted to do half off the first month, you can do that as well. All the links down there. But man, look at the separation here on Naylor. I just feel like being able to steal this type of value on props where one event within the entire game can swing it is just so valuable.
Yeah, I mean, the difference, you deal with this in 3-point props a little bit, but obviously you can only get in increments of 1. It's just such a drastic difference between each total base, of course. So the juice is so radical, and that creates opportunities for shopping. I just hate, this is more of a pet peeve. They really should revamp this and let walks and hit by pitch and all that stuff be included. I never understood that.
Why they aren't included as bases?
Yeah, what, like, is I'm not, what is the point of that?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't even count as a plate appearance.
I know, but it's like he did in fact get a base.
Right. I guess it's, yeah, and with a walk, yeah, it's like maybe with a hit by pitch, sure, because it wasn't his doing, even though guys are great at crowding the plate and do a great job, of making it difficult for a pitcher. But from a walk perspective, like it still kind of should be because the batter has a whole lot to do with drawing a walk.
It just seems dumb that a guy could in fact get to the base multiple times and he records no total bases.
Would you count an intentional walk as a base?
I would. Like
because
you earned that.
Yeah. Look, I get what you're saying.
Just a pet peeve. Regardless, it's not, and there's still we'll deal with it. Are there any others that you want to get to? I know some games are underway, of course, like Scherzer and these guys are already out there. Shane Bieber under 6.5. That's a tough one.
You know what's funny with these props for baseball on opening day? It's like how much of a pitch limit are we going to see on some of these guys?
So it's also free. Like, I don't know about you, but it's nice today, but it's also cold. Like,
yeah, I took the dog for a walk, bright and sunny, not a cloud in the sky, but a little beautiful, cold as well.
But like, they're not going to be. I even, I was watching the Yankee game, and Cole fanned 8 of his first 9, which was just ridiculous. But you could see he was already at like 55 pitches early in the game. It's just like he can't go that deep. They're not going to let him go, and it's opening day, so I do worry about that. A couple walks, 1 bad inning early, and you are done.
Yeah. Let's see. You mentioned Bieber, right?
Yeah.
Spring training. Let's see how many pitches he threw. Yeah, they ramped him up. I mean, he threw 81 5 days ago. That's a decent amount. He threw 81 against Colorado.
I mean, it's decent, but it's still not.
11 strikeouts.
I mean, he's amazing. I love that guy.
This is wild. He had 24 strikeouts in 21 innings of spring training. He was just mowing through.
Yeah, his Ks per 9. That's what I said. That's a scary one. That is one I'm not sure with a marginal ROI attached to it. I'm gonna let that just be. I'm not looking to short him.
I'm good on that.
Yeah.
I think I'm okay there. I'll pass. The guy I know last year his K rate wasn't absurdly high. But this is someone with an insane, he's essentially a 30% career K rate. He can just go out there and mow players down. Plus, if it's cold, might not be great for the pitcher, but it's also not great for hitters either. Like it's
No, I mean, certainly there were totals. The Yankees total today was 6.5. Like there's definitely impact. Of course, the thing to know though is that the market has put this stuff in there. It's not like they don't know that. So you're already baking it in. It makes no difference, but it is worth considering.
see some chat and some conversation in chat, some talk of NRFI, no run first inning.
Here we go.
People love them, Ben. People love no run first inning bets. I know you have some thoughts on them yourself.
Oh yeah. Yeah, well, let me tell you. No, I mean, listen, I get it. It's like I go to the gas station occasionally and I get a $30 scratch off and then I lose my money. It's instant win, instant lose, but it's very difficult, in my opinion, to find a lot of value there. Do you ever bet those?
I don't.
Okay.
I love betting anytime touchdown scores. I don't bet first touchdown scores, even though that's like the NRFI of baseball, right? In the sense, well, think of what I'm saying, in the sense of the instant gratification, the instant knowing, right? Like first basket props are popular for basketball,
That's down there with NRFIs.
There are stats out there that are like, just a list of each team who would like what percent of first field goal attempts of the game. You've seen that, right?
Yeah. You just can't beat the rate. That's the problem.
Yeah. Exactly. There's no bets on any of them either. It's just,
well, that would be wild. Imagine that sweat, like Embiid to not score first. That would be awesome.
If it was like Uncut Gems, right? That was the one with Sandler, right?
Yeah, I never seen it, but yeah.
But I'm saying like your life is riding on, like you need money immediately, and you're like, I'm just gonna go to Isaac Okoro, no first basket, and I'm gonna take every cent that I own and I'm gonna put it on that. Now, mind you, it's gonna be like minus 5,000.
Correct. And then he gets fouled.
And then
he misses the first. And then if I did it, what would happen? He would miss the second. And there'd be a lane violation. And it's just like, yep, perfect. And then he would make the third.
Wait, but that's not a basket.
Isn't it first points, right? Or is it first basket?
I think it's first. I don't bet that, but I'm pretty certain it'd be first basket. I don't think first points would count.
So then, okay, I'll revise my story. He would miss both free throws, get his own rebound, and then just dunk it. And then I would definitely lose.
I bet there's people in chat that know whether or not it's, if it's first basket or no, it's got, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. It's first field goal. So you have to actually hit a field goal.
Field goal. Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know. Yeah. So if no one scores, I guess it's just a push. Super defense in basketball. Yeah. Easy game.
Or I mean, free throws.
That would be, I mean, at North Texas tonight, you never know. The times you win won't make up for the times you lose. Yeah, that pretty much sums it up. You're just paying, it's a very projectable thing for the books. So if they put like minus 120 on both sides, you can't combat the rake. It's incredibly difficult.
You're talking NRFI?
Yeah, they juice it pretty heavily on both sides. And if both teams are projected to fall within that, there's no right side. They're just both negative EV.
Yeah. So I'm looking at, I was going to see like no run first inning here. Okay. So in the White Sox Astros game, first inning runs over 10 so to score in the first inning is minus 105, not to score is minus 125.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So
go ahead.
I'm just gonna say, so if you, and this is what OddsShopper does, if you remove the VIG from that, you're talking at like, say minus 112 or something like that. I'm just throwing out that number. What if they're 50-50 to do it? Both sides are dead.
Yep.
Like that's where it gets really tricky.
What do you think the average hold is on no run first inning?
It's pretty high.
You
What
think
did you
so?
just say there? Minus 105 and minus 125?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's like, if they were equal, you're talking minus 115 on both sides. That's going to be pretty hefty.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Arizona, LA Dodgers plus, so even money over minus 135 on the under.
Yeah.
They're not as bad as I remember from last year. I don't know. Maybe books are just incentivizing NRFI. For some reason last year I thought they were even more insane.
Maybe they tighten up. I don't know. It's not something that I bet. I'm pretty confident that the books can project them efficiently. And if the books project them efficiently, there's nothing to do because you can't beat the rake.
Yep. All right. Well, home run props. How do you feel about home run props?
I'm on board with home run props.
You are?
Yeah. Again,
Okay.
home run props to me are like triple double props in the NBA, stuff like that. Probability of success low. Are there spots though? You get a guy with really good splits against the lefty. He's got a like good conditions, stuff like that. You want to roll the dice? Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Well, then I think it's got to be one where we're shopping these home run props though, because like a double-double and triple-double, as you and I have found amazing value on these over the past couple of weeks, whereas one book is just posting a wildly different number than others. I mean, there's no doubt that I think you're going to see some really big differences across the board on home run props.
Oh yeah, you will definitely be able to shop them and find discrepancies.
Let's see if we can find one. So let's see if we can find a home run prop action here. What do you say? All right, so I'm gonna pull up. You can give me. You want to give me a player? Give me anybody.
To hit a home run? Let me pull up DraftKings. Sorry, I was in chat for a second.
You're good.
Let's take a look at what we got. I'm gonna try to find a Diamondback actually.
Okay.
Everyone's on the Dodgers tonight. Well, upset special. Arizona. Batter props. Here we go. Home runs. Who do I want here?
Oh, and by the way, while you look at that, I told you guys OddsShopper is about to have double doubles and triple doubles and everything mixed in there. We do have it on for home runs. So we might not have the XROI and everything, but if you type a player's name in and search them, you don't have to go from book to book to look at this. You can see it right there. You got to go into grid mode and not list mode. But like, okay, Mookie Betts, total home runs, DraftKings plus 475, BetMGM plus 450. All of these spots, but all of these players, you can find the props across every book that has them listed by just searching their name right now.
Yeah, and that's a beautiful thing. Again, to kind of figure that out and shop it. Do you have FanDuel up? Because I'm gonna go to Christian Walker over obviously a half home run. It's 6-1 on DraftKings.
Okay. Christian Walker. You're going a little D-backs action today?
A little D-backs action. I think they can put up some runs today.
All right. Got tough lefty on the mound for the Dodgers, but I'm interested. Pulled it up. Christian Walker. What was it? Plus 600?
Yeah.
All right. Plus 600. Everywhere else, this is BetMGM plus 550. I don't see it on FanDuel.
They know it's too good.
Plus, okay, 6-1 on Christian Walker. Yeah, 550 on MGM. Interesting spots here. You're right. It basically is just like double doubles and triple doubles in the triple doubles. Sorry, in the sense that certain guys are going to do it more often than others. But yeah, yes, there's sexual parlay EV. Just trying to read some comments here in chat. Lindy said Kyle Tucker home run in his video last night. Best I saw. Thank you, Calvin. Let's look it up. Best I saw was, what did you say? Okay. 390. All right. Home runs on Kyle Tucker makes my life way easier. Just be able to look this up. Here you go. There you go. Over home runs, DraftKings plus 425.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some good spots.
Let's see what else is out there though for that. I think there might be better. No. Okay.
JGL said everyone talks about minus EV, but who cares if you parlay 2 minus EV bets as long as it hits? Yesterday's parlay of the day was all plus EV and almost every leg missed. Dude, if you're using 1 game sample sizes, like 1 day sample sizes, like the expected win rate on a lot of these bets is like 58%, but it's higher than the break even point. If you're Ben, that look, I'm happy to, talk about it, but it matters. Like
Of
that
course.
books want you to be a minus EV parlay better. Like that's their bread and butter.
Again, it's process and results. I tried to put an example in chat. Like you could bet, and I'm going to use this example because I think it's applicable. Say you, and this would never happen, but if there was a guy minus 1,000 to hit a home run, that would be objectively the worst bet in the history of sports. If he hit a home run in the game, you would win. You would get your money. You would win. But the process is not sound there. The result is great. The process is not. And that's why over time, it kind of, your process takes over. So,
well, and if you kept making that bet,
you would lose
everything. Yeah.
But you could hit 2 in a row, 3 in a row, and you're like, okay, this is great. But over time, the results are the results.
Yeah, man. And Zach said I had a 4-leg parlay last night with plus EV legs. Not usual, but it was plus 1,000. Posted it on Chalkboard. Congrats, dude.
Ooh.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yo, join our Chalkboard too if you're not in there. Last time I'll say it, it's free. Everything's free. All the picks, the conversation, the app, everything's free. Chalkboard, it's going to be the gold standard of betting too. You can sync your sports books. All the box scores are in there. We're almost at 1,000 members. Ben, we just started 2 weeks ago. We're almost at 1,000.
It's amazing. And everybody knows the thing that's great. Like when you get a community that big and we're growing quickly, it just makes it that much more fun because there's people in there at all hours sweating out every bet. Like no matter what you're betting, there's a couple other people that are like, oh yeah, I've got that. Like let's ride together. And that's the best part. I mean, when you're complaining, when I'm on Super Tilt, what do? I DM you to complain. It's no fun sweating the games alone.
Fair enough, Calvin Weeks. Good. Fair enough. I have a feeling I know who that is, but yeah. Fair enough. Anyway.
What do you want to do? We got a couple of minutes left. Where do you want to go to close this out here?
I think we got to go community parlay. You and I hit it on Tuesday. You guys lost it yesterday, so I'm gonna have to bring us back here.
Go ahead.
Well, I'm just trying to, go along with the bit of you not calling me not a team player here.
Well, you're not.
That's fair.
That's right.
But I shouldn't be. I'm a team player if you and I hit. I'll applaud you.
I don't think this is the old there's no I in team, but there's an M and an E. Like, okay, well, we're not.
Bullshit, man. All I do is shower you with praise. When anyone ever talks about betting.
You called me a sorcerer.
I do. I said the other day in Chalkboard that the majority of what I've learned over the years betting has come from you. So you want to talk team player. Nobody, when it comes to you, is a bigger team player than this guy right here. And
I tell people all the time, like when people are like, why do you have turrets mounted outside your apartment? I say personal security. I learned it all from Laffy. He showed me how to take don't trespass seriously.
If that's all you can take away from this friendship,
that's a win.
That's bullshit. No.
Okay, sorry. I thought
you can thank me when your life is saved, when armed intruders come knocking during an apocalypse. But I've had enough. Community
apocalypse. All right. What site? Let me start there. Which site do you want to go to?
Well, hold on. What sport were you thinking for yourself?
I was gonna probably stick to baseball, but depending on what book, I have a couple in mind. We've got the Dodgers money line. So the community went pretty chalky, to be honest.
Okay. So the reason I asked is because if you're going baseball, I'm not sure if you're going Marquez, because if you're not going Marquez over 4.5 strikeouts, I would throw that in there plus money on FanDuel. But if you wanted to go there, I could pick something else and we could just ride with FanDuel.
No, that's fine. If you want to go there, I can find another bet on FanDuel. No problem.
Okay. All right. Let's do it.
Okay. No
All right,
problem.
I'll go Marquez over 4.5 strikeouts. We have that as a plus 5% XROI bet right now over at OddsShopper. I like that. You're getting it at plus money. You mentioned all of the other even pick'em sites have it at 4.5, not 4. So give me Hederman Marquez plus 108. FanDuel over 4.5 strikeouts.
Okay. Okay. So I am gonna go a little different there. I'm gonna change paces, change places. I'm gonna go to the NIT. I've been talking about this game. It is tonight. It's one of our last opportunities in the college basketball streets. We got UAB in North Texas. I'm going to go over 128.5 in terms of the points. So the reason that I like this, UAB in North Texas over 128.5, these teams, you never see this. This will be their 4th time playing this year. How crazy is that? 4th time.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah, really insane. So they played twice. They played in their conference tournament, and now they are matched up in the NIT finals. And the thing I like about it, I'm a believer that when you play a crazy stylistic team, you learn a lot every time you play them. And the 4th iteration, it's not nearly as big of deal as going against North Texas the first time. The first time these teams played, they scored 116 points in regulation. Then it went to 124. Then they played in the conference tournament. It was up to 145. UAB's starting to figure out how to control tempo. Is it going to be that high? No. Can it get into the 130s here? I think yes, not to mention it's a championship game. They will never give up on fouling if one of these teams is down. You will see foul after foul late. A couple different ways we get there. The over for UAB in North Texas tonight.
Man, the way you speak of this, do you really like this? Sounds like you feel real good about this.
I do, because I think that I'm really banking on the narrative that UAB has learned a lot each time. They played this team 3 times. They lost the first game pretty handedly. They lost the second game in double overtime. They won the 3rd game. And if UAB wins tonight, it's going over. UAB wants to play at an extremely fast pace. They're a slight favorite. I think they figured out how to combat North Texas's style a little bit.
All right. And who won? Who won the community? What bet won the community parlay vote? Dodgers. Plus 130, 100 pays out 530. Okay, let's do it. Hey, appreciate you guys as always. Follow Ben at JazzRazDFS, me at Lafayette_D. I'll be hanging out on Chalkboard tonight as well. I know Greg will, and Josh has been popping in now that he's coming back to life after that wicked illness. I even saw you in there the other day. So, and Mike producing the show was in there. He's in there now. We all are. It's a big, great community hanging out, sweating bets. We'll see you guys soon. Good luck tonight. Enjoy the rest of opening day, and we'll see you back here to close out the week tomorrow on the Odd Shop.